Hello, people of the internet. My summoner name is Winston, formerly Dresdendoll, and I'm a Leagueaholic. I've been playing League of Legends for 12 years now, and I've decided to make this video as a love letter to the game, but also as a lament to Riot Games because after playing and loving the game for 12 years now, I sadly have to go cold turkey and quit playing the game because of their decision to implement and force people to install the Vanguard anti-cheat software on their PCs in order to continue playing the game. This change will happen on patch 14.5, which I've checked, and that is March 6th. So that means that March 5th will be the last day that I play League of Legends after 12 years. So, for people that don't know, Vanguard is this anti-cheat software that Riot has used previously in its game Valorant, which I've never played, but people have been complaining about this anti-cheat for years, and lots of people were actually deterred from playing Vanguard because of this anti-cheat. And what this program does is it's a kernel level program. So basically it sits at the root of your operating system. So when you're booting up the computer and you're opening it up, this runs alongside your Windows and everything. It's like at the core, like ring zero level. It has access to everything on your computer. So, if let's say somebody hacked this thing, they would have access to your keystrokes, to your video camera, all your documents, all your passwords, everything. So yeah, this thing is scary. And lots of people on Reddit, even programmers, people that work with these kind of systems, they basically make us all kind of scared to use this thing. I mean, this thing is shady, not to mention the fact that Riot is owned by Tencent, which is a Chinese company, which also has done some shady stuff and is, it's just not good, it's not good. So some people have brought the argument that, Vanguard is so good, it stops all the cheaters, when in fact, it's been proven that some people have actually still been able to cheat even with Vanguard installed, because it doesn't block auto hotkey, and it also, Vanguard can't do anything about the hardware level cheats. And then of course some people are saying like, oh, the other company is already collecting your data, what's the difference? And basically double negative doesn't make a positive over here, so increasing your privacy by any amount relative to what it was before is still a good thing. So I don't know. People are just so willing to just give up their privacy and their data, just to play a video game. It's kind of crazy. And then the companies are taking advantage of this. They see that it's possible, so they're going to keep doing it. And then other people are saying, well, other game companies are using kernel level anti-cheats. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that Vanguard is running 24/7. It doesn't only run when League is on, it's running 24/7 on your computer. From the moment you start up your computer up until you're done. Yes, you can close it, but then you have to restart your computer. Also, it says that the cases seem rare, but Vanguard has crashed and caused damage to user systems. So it caused blue screens, shuts off your driver, and it regulates your CPU temp. Lots of people, I've even seen a post on Reddit, somebody saying that it completely bricks their computer. Like their computer, the parts, everything just started slowing down and basically killed their computer. And they really do think that Vanguard was responsible for this. Other people are saying like, Riot isn't legally allowed to misuse Vanguard and your data. They would be caught if they tried, but companies have been doing this for a while. They've been breaking the law and getting away with it. Sometimes they install like Bitcoin miners on it, or I think Genshin Impact, I know there was something with that like proven recently, that they were collecting people's data. And the whole Tencent thing, I did not realize that Tencent fully owns Riot Games. Like I did not know this until now, investigating the whole Vanguard thing. Like I was not aware that Riot is owned completely by a Chinese company which has done some really shady stuff. So I just feel like if people keep allowing this to happen, then more companies are going to do this. So we're going to have like 10 games on our computer, each of them requiring a kernel level anti-cheat, and it's just not good. Even if you trust Riot, even if you trust Tencent, I mean, somebody else could hack into it and still it would be bad. I mean, it doesn't matter who hacks into the computer, but I feel like it's just bound to happen eventually, especially with a game as popular as League is. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people trying to break this thing. So let me talk a little bit just about my history with League. I've been able to pinpoint exactly when I started playing because I feel like lots of us, when we start playing, we kind of remember what the champion released at that time was. You know, like back in the day, they used to have like this animated kind of video when you turned on the client, and it was really cool. Lots of the champions, you know, they ended up having like theme songs. And when I started playing, the champion that was the most recently released was Lulu. And I researched, and Lulu came out in March 20th of 2012. So that means that was the year that I started playing League. And around that month, I mean, I don't know exactly the day, but it was around March 20th of 2012. And you know, I used to just play World of Warcraft before this, so it was a very different game. Like, I didn't even know what a MOBA was before this. I just was playing this huge MMORPG and doing raids with people. And I mean, I did like arena stuff, like I did PvP on WoW too, but it just, League was something completely different that I hadn't seen before. And yeah, I had friends that got me into it, and then I saw like the whole esports thing, like that blew my mind. Like, oh my god, this game has casters and they're treating it like it's like a soccer game or something. Like, everybody was shouting and commenting on the game, and I thought that was so cool. I had never seen anything like that before. So not only did I get in the game, but I also got into watching the esports. And you know, back at that time, there was that whole, you know, America had like CLG and TSM, and I watched, yes, I did watch all the TSM, you know, diaries, whatever, crib, almost like a welcome to my crib kind of thing. um, and I watched the games, and I just learned a lot. I think the first champ I ever played, it wasn't Lulu, because, you know, when you first start playing, you got to build up, you got to level up, and gain RP points to buy more champs. So I think the first one that was free that week when I started playing was Annie, which was super fun. Like, this little girl that has a teddy bear and like she controls fire, and I just thought it was so cool, you know. So I loved it. I mean, eventually I bought Lulu and other champs, and of course this is a game that's free to play, but of course I started spending money on skins. So I'm sure I've spent quite a lot of money on League in spite of it being technically a free to play game. And also, League, funnily enough, is responsible for my K-pop addiction, which again, I can pinpoint the exact moment that this happened, because in November 25th of 2013, Popstar Ari was released. So this was before KDA and all the stuff that we have nowadays, but it was just Ari, which I knew the champ because I had played. She was also one of the first champs I started playing. I was playing mid lane, and they released this skin. It was like pop star, you know, her dressed in that outfit, and everybody on forums started talking about how she's inspired by this song from Girls' Generation called Genie. And I was like, what is this? I've never heard of this before. So of course I'm like, oh, let me go look it up, see what this is. And lo and behold, you know, I fell down the K-pop rabbit hole like everybody else. So I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is like, you know, Spice Girls, but in Korean, and they're dancing like perfectly synchronized dancing, and the videos are such high production. And I really like fell into the whole K-pop thing. And yeah, this was also thanks to the League, which I don't know. I think it's like a really funny story. Like, how'd you get into K-pop? Oh, pop star Ari, you know. I just like, oh, that's kind of cute. Let me see what this is all about. So talking about the esports scene, I looked back to retrace my steps and my history. And basically, since season 2 of the World Championship, I have watched the League of Legends World Championship every single year. So my first ever one was watching season 2 and seeing Taipei Assassins win. And I remember staying up at like an ungodly hour to watch this. And it was amazing. It was so hype. Like, TPA was just great. I love that. And then, of course, you know, seeing the rise of Faker and SKT and seeing them become world champions like 3 times and then recently a 4th time It was just great. Like, I never thought I would enjoy watching other people play a game as much before. I mean, it's been great. I love it. And I actually did get to attend the first ever mid-season invitational. So this was, I didn't even realize that this was the first time that they had an MSI. So I went to the 2015 mid-season invitational, and it was held in May 7th, 2015 at the Florida State University Donald L. Tucker Civic Center in Tallahassee. And I went there, and it was just amazing seeing this live. I mean, it really did feel like you're on a stadium watching, rooting for your favorite players, and everybody wearing the gear and cosplaying. And it was actually like Faker's birthday, so I remember all of us in the audience singing happy birthday to Faker, which was pretty cool. And seeing the casters and the interviews happening live. Edward Gaming ended up winning that year, so they did defeat SKT with a 3-2 in the final. But it was just very exciting to see all of this, like behind the scenes and cheering with all the fans. It was an amazing experience, and I'm really thankful that I got to go. Sadly, this is the only time that I've seen League played live. Like, I've never been to one of the World Championships finals in person or anything like that, but just being at the first ever MSI, I think, is like a big deal, and I'm really happy that I got to go there. Now, of course, we can't only talk about the good things. We have to talk about the fact that League, as fun of a game as it is and as addicting as it is, it's like been hailed the most toxic game out of all the games. I mean, the community, not the game itself, but the community has been hailed like the most toxic player base ever. And it definitely felt like that, especially when I first started playing, because, obviously I didn't know what I was doing. And people get really serious about the game. Like, they get really upset if you suck, if you're not farming well or you're dying, and they make sure that what their opinion is in the chat. I mean, it was rough starting out, let me tell you, especially in the games that I was playing alone without friends. Like, it was just me there. It was rough. And I made the mistake of answering, which I've learned with time not to do that. But don't get into like chat wars and reply to people, and because they only feed off of whatever you're saying, so it's only going to get worse. But yeah, the slurs and the cursing and your mom this and that, and I hope you get this and that. I'm not gonna specify, but yeah, we've all been there. I mean, we've seen how toxic people get. I mean, through the chat, through the pings, it can be a very miserable experience sometimes. And that's why this game, like, some people love it or hate it or love to hate it. And it's kind of funny when you see people get into, like, let's say they've watched Arcane, which was a big reason I did take about like 2-year break. And then Riot released Arcane. I was like, holy moly, it made me want to play again. Arcane was just so good. But yeah, lots of people on YouTube, they're like, oh, I loved Arcane, should I start playing League? And everybody in the comments like, no, don't do it, save yourself, don't, it's horrible. It's just, and they think it's funny, like, oh, look at these League players tell me not to play. Normally gamers are like, yes, come on, join us, play, it's fun, it's great. But League players are like, hell no, save yourself, run as fast as you can. And yeah, definitely can be like either a fun experience or a miserable experience. I mean, the feeling you get when you're playing and everything's going well is just amazing. Like, when you're snowballing, you're winning team fights, you're carrying your team to victory, it's just so much fun. But when you're losing and everybody's flaming and people are throwing and rage quitting and AFKing, and it's just really miserable, not gonna lie to you. It can be just rough. So that's why you gotta have like a thick skin, and if you don't have it, then you better develop a thick skin and have a strong mental for this game, because otherwise League is not for you. So I didn't attempt ranked games for a while because obviously with all this toxicity in the game, I was like, well, if normal games are this intense, then I can only imagine how ranked games are going to be. So I just kept, postponing. But eventually I did try ranked, and the highest I've gotten to is silver 1. I mean, I'm not like this amazing player or anything, so I've almost gotten gold, and I was gonna try to maybe get gold this season. I was a bit rusty after those years that I stopped playing for like about 2 years, like I said. or I didn't play as much. So I was kind of rusty, but I was like, you know what, this is the time. And I haven't even stated this yet, but I main support, secondaries, mid. I can do okay with all the roles apart from jungle. Like jungling is just not my jam, is not my thing. But support, yeah, as a support main, I feel like the argument is that it is harder to climb as a support. I mean, some people say it isn't, but I still feel like you're just so reliant on your team and your AD carry doing well. And I mean, all you can do is provide vision and try to support the team as best as, to the best of your ability. But yeah, I've just peaked at silver one, like super close to gold. But every time I would get close to gold, I swear, I just, this is everybody's complaint, but you would just get people like the other team would be god mode, and then your team is just everybody's feeding and quitting and raging at each other. So I feel like it's just whenever you get close, like it gets really hard. So it's a struggle, but I did enjoy playing ranked games. I mean, in spite of the stress and everything. And once I learned to just mute people and carry on and stop replying to the trolls, like it definitely got better. Like that's my advice. Like just mute people and keep on playing and just focus on the game, because there's been so many games where like you think you're gonna lose, everybody wants to quit, but you just push through, and it's the best feeling winning an unwinnable game. Like that's just the best feeling. Like you thought it was done, like there's just no hope, and then somehow you turn it around and you win. It's just like the best feeling ever. So yeah, just mute the trolls, play your game, try to improve, have fun, and just try not to let the negativity get to you. So some of my favorite champions now are, as a support player, I really love Nico. Like I've been really getting into Nico for like the past year, like before even her rework, so to speak, or the changes they've made to her. I just think she's just so much fun. Like I always have a blast. Just, you can transform into your teammates or a minion and kind of like surprise ult somebody out of nowhere. She's really sneaky and fun. I love her abilities, her whole kit. Like she's great. And then before she became my main, I was playing Nami a lot. Like I had a lot of success climbing ranked games as Nami. Of course, she kind of got nerfed because her and Lucian were picked. Like everybody got bored of just seeing Lucian, Nami in the bot lane, so she kind of got nerfed a lot. I also enjoy playing Morgana, Soraka. Sometimes I play like Zillion or Ziggs or Vel'Koz, but I love Vel'Koz. He's just so much fun, like little geometry boy. So yeah, it's just been really fun. And this season, that's the thing, this season was shaping up to be so good. Like I was so hyped for season 14 and all the changes and the whole void stuff and the item changes and the fact that they kind of got rid of the mythic items, which was it was just so stale. It was getting old. So this was like a fresh start for the game. And then the cinematic they came out with was just amazing. I mean, their cinematics and the music, KDA was just such a phenomenon. Like I'm still amazed with KDA, and like the fact that they have like, I don't know, hundreds of millions of views, and the live performance too was awesome. I mean, musically and the cinematics and Arcane and everything has just been top notch. Then we also have Pentakill, which was actually their first ever musical project, and it's a metal band, and they've released entire albums, and they're just so good. Like they're genuinely so great. And then we got True Damage, we have Heartsteel now. Every time Riot releases music, it's a jam. Like lots of people joke like, oh, Riot is a music company that sometimes makes a game, or like the fact that the people been watching their cinematics for so many years and telling them, man, you guys need to make a movie. And then they finally made the series Arcane, and it's blew everybody's mind. Like people that had never heard of League or played League in their life, like everybody just got amazed by how good Arcane was. So to kind of circle back around to the beginning of this video and why I decided to make it, I guess I'll be playing the game up until March 6th. Like it's about 3 weeks now. I got 3 weeks of time left to play League, like my favorite game and pastime, and distraction from the stress of life and everything. I mean, it's like double-sided coin. Like, I know it's good and bad to distract yourself. I mean, it can be both good and bad for your mental health too, but it's been really helping me out. Like, it's been a constant companion for 12 years. Like, I love the game, I love the champions, I love the esports scene. I just really, really love this game. So I know lots of people would be like, well, if you love it so much, just keep playing it, just continue. But so this shows you how much I hate the Vanguard thing and how much this thing scares me, that I really would rather stop playing my favorite game of 12 years rather than install this thing on my brand new computer, because I got this computer a year ago. And I got it. That's the irony of it all and the sadness of it all. I was gifted this computer to play League. Like, this is a gaming computer, high performing. It's made my gaming experience so much better. And it was bought for League, and now I can't play League anymore. So it's really bumming me out. It's really making me sad after all these years of playing, and just the community, I don't know, playing with friends. All of this is just really sad to let it go. Like, I'm just venting here. This video is just like a love letter to League and a lament to Riot for forcing its player base to install such an intrusive program on their computers. Like, I really think they should. I mean, they're not going to change their mind. This is going through. This is inevitable. I mean, they've already pushed it back because they apparently they were reporting bugs on it. It was supposed to be released last patch, which I'm happy it wasn't, because it gives me a bit more time to play. But this is, I don't know, the end of an era for me, I guess. Now I gotta just go outside, touch grass, focus on other things, read more, paint more, hang out with people more, be more social. I mean, I'm trying to see this as a positive thing. Like, this is like an addict that's letting go of an addiction. Like, this has been like a League addiction, and now I'm letting go of it. But like, I'm trying to see it as a positive thing, but I can't help but being like super sad about it. Like, this is not something I wanted to do. This is something I feel like I'm being forced to do, even though I really don't want to do it. But this is the situation, and I don't know. Farewell, League. I'm gonna keep playing as much as I can, probably an unhealthy amount up until March 6th, and then that's the end of an era for me. And I'm gonna keep watching the esports scene. I mean, I'm not gonna completely abandon everything, but as far as me playing, like, this is it. Like, I'm sorry for all the time I've spent and the money I've spent and all the skins I bought that are now just gonna not be used anymore. It's just gonna stay there. I mean, it's a part of me. I know this sounds like a lot, but the game is like a part of me and my history, and I'm just always gonna treasure it. And yeah, farewell, League. Thank you for the memories, and you've been a really great game. Frustrating, fun, I know, relaxing at times, infuriating at other times, but it's just kind of a constant companion and escape from stress for me. So thank you for all of that. Bye.
Minions have spawned.